Jai Sai Ram, Sri Sai Satcharitra, Chapter 22, Part 2. All who were present there were curious to know the meaning of all this and its reference to Mirkar. But none had the courage to ask Baba about this. Then Bala Saheb saluted Baba and left the masjid with Shama. Baba called Shama back and asked him to accompany Bala Saheb and enjoy the Chitali trip. Shama came to Bala Saheb and told him that he would go with him according to Baba's wish. Bala Saheb replied that he need not come as it would be inconvenient. Shama returned to Baba and told him what Bala Saheb said to him. Baba said, "All right, do not go. What we should mean well and do well. Whatever is destined to happen will happen." In the meanwhile, Bala Saheb thought over it again and calling Shama asked him to accompany him. Then Shama, going again to Baba and taking his leave, started with Bala Saheb in the Tanga. They reached Chitali at 9 p.m. encamped in the Maruti temple. The office people had not come, so they sat quiet in the temple talking and chit-chatting. Bala Saheb was sitting on the mat reading a newspaper. His uparni was spread across his waist and on a part of it was a snake sitting unobserved. It began to move with a rustling sound which was heard by the peon. He brought a lantern, saw the snake and raised an alarm, "Serpent, serpent." Bala Saheb was frightened and began to quiver. Shama was also amazed. Then he and others moved noiselessly and took sticks and clubs in their hands. The snake got down slowly from the waist and it moved away from Bala Saheb. It was immediately done to death. Thus this calamity which was prophesied by Baba was averted and Bala Saheb love for Baba was deeply confirmed. Babu Saheb Bhuti, a great astrologer named Nana Saheb Bengale, told one day to Bala Saheb Bhuti, who was in Shirdi then, "Today is an inauspicious day for you. There is a danger to your life." This made Babu Saheb restless. When they, as usual, came to the masjid, Baba said to Babu Saheb, "What does this Nana say? He foretells death for you? Well, you need not be afraid. Tell him boldly. Let us see how death kills." Then, later in the evening, when Babu Saheb went to the privy for easing himself, where he saw a snake, his servant saw it and lifted a stone and tried to strike at it. Babu Saheb asked him to get a big stick, but before the servant returned with the stick, the snake went moving away. It was seen moving away and soon disappeared. Babu Saheb remembered with joy Baba's words of fearlessness. Amir Shankar. Amir Shankar was a native of the village Korla in Kopargan Taluk. He belonged to the butcher caste. He worked as a commission agent in Bandra and was well known there. He once suffered from rheumatism, which gave him much pain. He was then reminded of God, and so he left his business and went to Shirdi and prayed to Baba to relieve him from his malady. Baba then stationed him in the Chavadi, which was then a damp and unhealthy place, unfit for such patients. Any other place in the village or Korla itself would have been better for Amir, but Baba's word was the deciding factor and the chief medicine. Baba did not allow him to come to the masjid, but fixed him in the Chavadi, where he got very great advantage. Baba passed via Chavadi every morning and evening, and every alternate day Baba went to the Chavadi in the procession and slept there. So Amir got Baba's contact very often. Easily. Amir stayed there for full 9 months and then somehow or other he got a disgust for the place. So one night he stealthily left the place and came to Kopargan and stayed in Dharmashala. There he saw an old dying fakir who asked him for water. Amir brought it and gave it to him. As soon as he drank it, he passed away. Then Amir was in a fix. He thought that if he went to the police and informed, he would be held responsible for the death, as he was the first and sole informant and knew something about it. He repented for his action, that is, leaving Shirdi without Baba's leave, and prayed to Baba. He then determined to return to Shirdi and then came that night running back, remembering and muttering Baba's name on the way, and reached Shirdi before daybreak and became free from anxiety. Then he lived in Chavadi in perfect accordance with Baba's wish and orders and got himself cured. One night it so happened that Baba cried at midnight, "Oh Abdul, some devilish creature is dashing against the side of my bed." Abdul came with a lantern, examined Baba's bed but found nothing. Baba asked him to examine carefully all the place and began to strike ground with his satka. Seeing this leela of Baba, Amir thought that Baba might have suspected some serpent had come there. Amir could know by close and long contact with Baba the meaning of his words and actions. Baba then saw near Amir's cushion something moving. He asked Abdul to bring in the light, and when he brought it, he saw the coil of serpent there, moving its head up and down. Thereupon the serpent was immediately beaten to death. Thus Baba gave timely warning and saved Amir. Hemaband, scorpion and serpent. At Baba's recommendation, Kaka Sahib Dikshit was daily reading two works of Sri Eknath Maharaj, that is Bhagavat and Bhavartha Ramayana, and Hemaband had the good fortune to be one of the audience when the reading of the work was going on. Once, when a portion of Ramayana relating to Hanuman's testing Rama's greatness according to his mother's instructions was being read, all the listeners were spellbound. Hemaband was one of them. A big scorpion, nobody knows where it came from, jumped and sat on the right shoulder of Hemaband on his uparni, upper dhotar. First it was not noticed, but as the Lord protects those who are intent in hearing his stories, he casually cast a glance over his right shoulder and noticed it. It was dead silence, not a bit moving here or there. It seemed as if it also enjoyed the reading. Then, by the Lord's grace, Hemaband, without disturbing the audience, took the two ends of the dhotar, folded them and brought them together, enclosing the scorpion within. Then he went out and threw it in the garden. On another occasion, some persons were sitting in the upper floor of Kaka Sahib Vada just before nightfall, when a serpent crept through a hole in the window frame and sat coiled up. A light was brought, though it was first dazzled, yet it was still and only moved its head up and down. Then many persons rushed there with sticks and gudges, but as it sat in an awkward place, no blow could be dealt. But hearing the noise of men, and the serpent went away hastily through the same hole. Then all the persons there felt relieved. Baba's opinion. One devotee named Muktaram then said that it was good that the poor creature escaped. Hemaband challenged him, saying that the serpent should be better killed. There was a hot discussion between them, the former contending that serpents and such creatures should not be killed, the latter that they should be. As night came on, the discussion came to an end without any decision being arrived at. Next day, the question was referred to Baba, who gave his settled opinion as follows. God lives in all beings and creatures, whether they are serpents or scorpions. He is the great wire puller of the world and all beings, serpents, scorpions, etc. Obey his command. Unless he wills it, nobody can do any harm to others. The world is all dependent on him, and no one is independent. So we should take pity and love all creatures. Leave off adventurous fights and killings and be patient. The Lord is the protector of all. Bow to Sri Sai. Peace be to all. Jai Sai Ram.